This is tragic for students to have to worry about as they're getting ready to end school to go on holiday break. They're taking finals. I teach at a university. I know exactly how busy these students are and what their minds should be focused on, and that is their academics, not shootings like this occurring on their campuses. And like I said, it's very hard to mitigate. But as a society, we need to start enacting some real solutions here to prevent this, because schools are becoming these high-value targets in terms of the numbers. And it's the pathway of least resistance, unfortunately, especially these college campuses for active shooters. And that's where they're going to go to conduct these types of acts. They're going to go the pathway of least resistance, where they're less inclined to engage with security or law enforcement while attempting to commit this act. And we need to change that narrative. We need to instill more deterrence at these locations and in society in general to prevent these types of acts from taking place. But again, another tragic example at a location that unfortunately suffered consequences of which we have no full knowledge of yet at the hands of violence.
Jeff, I'm going to give you the last word, following on what Charles was saying about high-value targets and how it is so easy for these shooters with an agenda, mistakenly, misguidedly, to try and seek out people, in some cases, that have nothing to do with what they're feeling so much anger about. How in the world does our country overcome what is becoming something that is far too commonplace?
Well, it's a very good question, and I wish I had the answer after covering so many of these shootings, mass shootings with high death tolls. It's almost deja vu all over again, because you have the shooting, then you have politicians and local officials standing up and talking about what's going to change, but nothing really changes. There's a lot of talk, but very little action. Back in the day when these things first started happening, we talk about the difference between a soft target and a hard target, but what we're seeing now is that everywhere, no matter where you are, is a soft target. There are vulnerabilities all over the place, and especially when you have the access to weapons that Americans have, because this is what we're seeing over and over again. In a lot of these situations, the weapons that are being used are similar. You then have copycat incidents. So what we expect to hear in the next several hours and over the coming days is people in Nevada calling for some sort of change, but there is so much disagreement and such a lack of consensus on these issues that, I'll be surprised if anything changes.
Jeff Pegues, Charles Marino, thank you both. As you can see, they are setting up there in Las Vegas, Nevada, for that news conference from the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. We will bring it to you when it happens. For now, we're going to have a quick break. This is CBS News.
Well, let me start with this.
This really happened.
Have you told the government?
Did any of that make sense?
What's your response?
You want me to just
What's wrong with that argument?
What have you learned?
Do you know why?
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 It's time for 60 Minutes, Sunday on CBS.
An original documentary from CBS Reports.
Since you started La Soup in 2014, do you have any sense as to how much food you've rescued from the landfill?
We've rescued 4.5 million pounds.
I can't even fathom how much food that is.
And that's one little person in one little city in America. We're going to call this chicken piccata. We did 450 of these meals today.
This is the exact dish
That
you and
we
I are going to
just-
have.
Yep.
Oh, really good.
Is it good? Mm-hmm. Having a plan of how to keep people fed should be in every single city.
If we eliminated food waste, could we eliminate
Hunger, yes.
Eating Trash, now streaming on the free CBS News app. An original documentary from CBS Reports.
You had a substitute teacher that was pretty popular. What was his reputation?
Everyone loved him.
You had to miss a test. What did he offer to have you make up the test?
He said that I can come by after school was all over and just take the exam. The blinds were down. He closed the door. The next thing I knew, he was right next to me. That's when I realized what was going to happen. Even if I wanted to scream at the top of my lungs, no one would hear me because no one was there. He told me that if I ever said anything to anyone, he would kill me and he would kill my family. So I did it.
Pledge of Silence, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
He was there when the war in Ukraine started.
Extreme history. It's a big moment.
The extraordinary story behind Sean Penn's new Paramount Plus documentary, Superpower, when we go person to person.
An original documentary from CBS Reports.
AI is among the most world-changing technologies ever.
Curing diseases, scientific breakthroughs, making lives better.
They can help us with medical discovery, scientific discoveries, doing better agriculture, having cures for things like Alzheimer's.
It's also going to really transform the way we work.
The uplifting potential of artificial intelligence is limitless.
It gives you a friend, somebody to chat with 24/7 that is non-judgmental. He makes me feel loved and desired.
And so are its downfalls.
The problem with all this AI is that it's unpredictable and uncontrollable.
The choices we make now will have lasting effects for decades, maybe even centuries.
The ChatGPT